Okay, all of us are back. Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, Nancy, sir?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Sir, start ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು sir.
Okay, start ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ?
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್, ಟೈಮ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
Okay.
ಸರ್.
Okay, welcome back again for the second session of the afternoon. So we are talking about the mind maps. We'll see if we get the time later. As Meenakshi madam said, we'll have what you call 1 or 2 mind maps to display later. So we'll continue further. One of the ways to what you call attract students and make them what you call more this one issues more memorable using mind maps. Then as a teacher, where we should focus. Okay, now one thing important is academic support and education help. That is, we do it, but how seriously we do it is the most important thing. We call it as academic support and education to succeed academically, because nowadays getting jobs are so difficult. That's why a lot of schemes have been there, because the traditional education, we have a little what you call hiccups there to get jobs. So now they look for more of skills. So as a teacher, we have got what you call a responsibility to inculcate skills among the students. And nowadays a big issue is at-risk student identification, because students are diverting. Because, we see every day how the students have lost interest in their studies, and we have to get them back. Now, please, somebody is there talking. Please mute. Okay, at-risk student I was talking about, and we have to really bring them back to the classroom. Though they are inside the classroom, they may not focus well in the classroom. Media and media addictions are too many, and too many social media intervention, and a lot of personal issues, interpersonal issues the students are suffering from, and so many psychological issues have been increased over the years. So as teachers, we have got a moral responsibility to help them out. But how to what you call see these students, why they are getting into the diversion part of it, media or media addictions? We look into this. Basically, one is more into smartphones, using more what you call more time into smartphone usage. Second thing is social apps, because that gives some what you call virtual identity, like Instagram, WhatsApp. Then there are many other apps like Snapchat, Facebook, and all. Now they want to have a lot of identification, so they may be having identity crisis. That's another thing, and all this makes them to lost interest in studies. Now, what exactly? Just to make what you call how it goes. For example, selfies nowadays. If you see, we spend more time, or rather, the younger generation spends more time in what you call selfies. Now, anybody there, can you give some what you call throw some light on the picture, that what is being what you call expressed in this picture? What's the commonality in that?
ಅದು ಒಂದು ರೀತಿ ಅಸಭ್ಯವನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸಬಹುದು ಸರ್.
What is the common feature? ಅಸಭ್ಯತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು? Okay, somebody said something very specific.
Yes, everyone is showing their tongue, taking out their tongue and showing it in the picture. Gurfi.
No, but what could be the meaning of it, sir?
Oh, this is nothing, but this is the type of taunting that they are doing, or rather unnecessary gesture that they are showing here.
On the lighter side, don't take it seriously.
They're not serious, yes.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
They are not doing it serious, but it may manifest a kind of psychopathology.
Okay, yeah.
Because the idea here is in psychopathology, the protruding tongue, because all of you are seeing that protruding tongue. Of course, it's not Indian picture. I purposely selected other picture, but we do that. Okay, our younger youngsters do that. A protruding tongue is an indication of mental retardation, and how many of you know about it? So this is where we have to educate them. What you call, whether you are using, they may do it for a fun sake. Now one has to be very careful while doing such things. Going to the next picture, you see in a single picture how many expressions have been shown, and these are all there on the net, and all kind of emotions you can see, and preferably I see most of them are negative emotions rather than positive emotions. What this younger generation wants to tell us, I'll show you more. And what these three girls wanted to tell us, I leave the discussion to you. Then see the next picture. Because are we really serious into giving some good message to the community or something like that, or whether the younger generations really diverting more? We have to really think about it. And the younger generations typically are our students. Then okay, these kinds of selfies also, groupies also you see. Now all these will have their own impacts. This we call it as a cool selfie, where you can feel a kind of very relaxed nature, and it gives a very pleasant feeling. Now, about the phone usage, one of the study has said, how do we use phone, including our youngsters? Okay, just quickly to summarize, 17.5% of the student yeah, of the users use it as an alarm clock, which is not again very good because keeping the mobile to very near to us might have radiations. Then a large majority, like no, almost 90% of feel uneasy leaving their phone at home. So it can happen very well with our students. They may not come to the class, but if they have left the home or left the mobile at home, they might run back. Then the most risky behavior is 55.4% of the users use or look at their phone while driving, or this is where highly risk, where it can be harmful others and harmful for themselves. And almost three-fourths of the phone users consider themselves to be addicted to their phones, without, because like rather than we are controlling the phone controls them. That's not a good moment at all. Then most serious thing is 65.6, almost two-thirds of the sample which are surveyed gave the idea that they check their phones 160 times per day. Remember, 160 times as an average. So that could be on the higher side or it could come the lower side. But on an average, 165 times, 160 times. Even if it is 1 minute, it will become 160 minutes, or almost it is going up to 3 hours of a day, which has been totally simply lost. And forget about the dates part. Then within a classroom, 64.2% of the students, they have texted in the same room, front to back or back to front, or right to left, or left to right. And phone has not left us even washrooms. Okay, 73 point what you call 4% of the even people who they use phone even in washroom. Earlier it was not there when there was a landlines were there. And the most funniest thing is nowadays nobody knows whose phone call is coming to whom. But when there used to be landlines in a home, everybody get to know who is calling and whom for whom the call is. Nowadays all those things are gone. And the last part is 60.6% of upgraded their phone last year. That's quite this one, where they're more into changing the phones or upgradation. But these are the kinds of phone usage which takes away the timings like anything. That's the severity of it. And this is study. Okay, then I'm more into worried about the student, because nowadays we find a syndrome which is being widely discussed even in the net and all, called as popcorn brain syndrome. Have heard of them? Anybody heard of the term called as popcorn brain syndrome? No? Okay, fine. Okay. Now there is a big complaint from the teachers that students have no memory power, or they don't have concentration. Whatever is being discussed today or now will not be remembered after some time. Or whatever is being done today, they don't remember it tomorrow. Now, why? Again, research is being done, and the answer has come like students are suffering from a syndrome called as popcorn brain syndrome. Okay, because nowadays students are more into what you call a regular usage of Android or screen time. So because the lot of excitement which the brain gives, so the brain goes off like in bursts, like how the popcorn popping in a microwave, you can see how that jumps and comes. Similar way, the thought process are happening among our students. So whatever we are discussing inside the class, the student is not able to concentrate what the teacher is telling because of this one of, I'm not telling that all of them will have this, but definitely few of them will have this. And that's why the terminology is given as popcorn brain syndrome. You can do what you call more readings later. So now you can understand why the student is not able to concentrate, or why the student is not able to what you call remember, where the attention span is very less, and it can happen due to popcorn brain syndrome, which is researched nowadays more. You can see the literature in the net and all. That's quite serious in nature. So now we have to bring them back. That is as a moral responsibility we teachers have, because we want them to study well. And in the digital era, they're more dependent on the digital technology than the teachers. So that's a problem. And the more worrying thing is, though it is not what you call completely into the topic, recently I found one study where among children, say below 2 to 3 years of children, the study was done, and believe it or not, 70% of the children or the toddlers, they preferred mobile than their moms. Now this shows the gravity. If it can happen at that age group, now what can happen with the youngsters or the young adults which we are handling them each and every day? So that's why what you call the popcorn brain syndrome takes a major role. Our students are not able to focus well because um, the thought process are popping up and jumping out, and there's no constancy in this one. So they are failed to comprehend what is being told in the class. So be aware of this. Apart from this, what you call how to question in the class, a questioning is required or not in the class. I'm just asking a question. Questioning part, what you call habit, to be there or should be there or not?
It should be, it should be there.
It should be there, sir.
It should be there.
It
Then
should
only
be
we can come to know whether they have understood whatever we have taught or not.
Very
To-
significant. It must be there.
so questioning must be there. It gives two feedbacks for us. One is whether student has understood what we have said. Whether we are next thing is whether we are good enough to make the student understand. Because if all the students are not answering, that means the blame should go on the teacher. Please don't feel bad. Any teachers there? Because if one or two students are not answering, that means it could be his fault. Like I extend this for examination. In examinations, if all the students are failing, whom do you blame? The students or teacher? I'm not.
Teacher.
I'm not telling that.
Teachers only,
Okay.
sir.
Huh? If all the
No, sir. Teachers, sir.
huh?
Teachers only.
Now
Teachers only,
Only, sir.
sir.
Of
now
course,
the
it
same.
is teachers only, sir.
Yeah. Now if few of the students are failing, yes, we can understand. But if all the students are majority of the students are failing, that calls for a deep introspection in us. That means whether we have failed to reach the student. So this is where what you call the questioning aspect comes. Now, why questioning? Okay. Now, by questioning, it makes the thinking visible. Second thing is identifies the prior knowledge, whether or if there's no knowledge is there, what you call we can induce that. Then reasoning ability, because sometimes the student may have to reason it and answer it. So how much they are good in what you call those skills, and how much they understand, that is more important. Understanding is a major part what has been told in the class. Now that is why questioning is required. So in a way it gives a feedback. But please understand, while questioning also we have to be very careful. Selecting particular students can have some impact, because some students might feel what you call ignored. But targeting a set of students is not a good idea. Sometimes some teachers might target one or two students all the time. Now that is not a good idea. The questioning should be general, and it should be specific, not to be specified or specific towards any particular student. Then asking in sequence is very important, because the moment you ask in a sequence, it can make the student to remember what has been done or what has been dealt. So the sequencing also important, not asking the toughest one first and this one. So it can go with the simple to complex again. And please, one thing is selecting the raised hand students, never ignore them. Because nowadays you hardly find students are raising the hand. Now, if they at all, if they have raised the hands, please see to that you respect their what you call motivation, or at least you say, well, I'll come back to you and I'll get the answer. But don't what you call ignore them, because it kills their motivation. And next time, if you repeatedly do this, though they know the answer, they may not raise the hand. That's a typical Skinnerian wordings is there, called as negative conditioning. So where the student is, even if he knows, he might say, teacher is not bothered about me, so why should I answer? So this should not happen. Then selecting after modeling the answers is also important, like how others also answer. Then you can even leave some questions for homework, so that next morning you can ask that also, so that there will be a continuous what you call a kind of spark, where what you call in the student, the kind of what you call incomplete task again, we say, you, if the student knows that the next day the teacher is going to ask question, it remains as incomplete task. And in psychology already some experiments have been proved, called as one of the theories is incomplete tasks are retained better than completed task, called as one of the lady Bluma Zygarnik, where she gives a complete explanation for how incomplete task can make us to remember better than completed task, because incompleted task will have still some strain on us, whereas completed task will not have no strain. So the question, what you call idea of forgetting could be faster. So even the questioning should be this one, and don't target one individual or a group of individuals all the time. That is what you call not a good idea, because that might bring a negativity in the student or those group of students. So questioning should be selective, simple to complex, and never even ignoring the what you call students who are interested, and even leaving some questions for homework can make our students to learn better. Then in a class, that time we saw three types of students in terms of learning. In terms of general way of what you call learning, plus what you call uh, nature of their merit, you can find four types of students. There is no book for this, okay? There's no book for this. One is called as excellent group, second is called as a good group of students, third is average, fourth word you can, any word you can use, worthless. Now why I say this? So why this is required for in a classroom? You find all the four types in a class, unless your institution is very elite and selecting only the toppers, then you cannot find. But in a normal college or this one institution, you can find at least four types of students. One is excellent group of students. You know what is the nature of theirs? These students are what you call very active. In fact, what you call, they prepare their what you call preparation much before the class, because they must have collected the syllabus much earlier, or it must be there in always in the institutional website or college website. They must have referred it, and before they coming to the class, they must have referred and they come to the class. Now it is for very easy for them. Why? Because they must have already read once. They will have a repetition at in the class with your teaching, and in the same evening they go back home and they make the notes. Now imagine the preparation: before the class once, during the class second time, and in the evening again they are going and updating themselves. So their preparation has gone up to 3 times. Now their success rate is very high, or scoring rate is very high, almost 85%. Not many of them will you can find in the class, but there is another group called as good group. Now this good group, what you call this group, is basically they don't prepare in advance, but they are very serious in the class. They listen very seriously in the class, and same day they go home, same in the evening they go home or PG or hostel. They finalize the notes, and by chance, if they get some doubts, they clarify next day with the teacher. But their preparation goes only twice. Automatically, the scoring rate or the success rate is also less compared to the excellent group. Now, they might score around 60, 65 that level. Uh, that's the idea. But there is a big group where it's called as average group of students. Now remember, this average group of students will they don't prepare in advance. They don't prepare notes or finalize the notes on the same day, but they will be alert only when the examination timetable is announced. So when the examination timetable is announced, that time they'll be very serious. They start studying. But remember, the preparation is less compared to good group or excellent group. So their scoring rate also will be less. So they might score around 40 to 50 or maybe just pass. So that's why it's called as average group. But there is one more group where I don't know how to name them because they don't prepare in advance. They don't even make notes on the same day. Even when a timetable is announced, what you call, they think it's for someone else. Now they prepare for examination just a day or two before. Now they might write somewhere some what you call friends room or hostel or PG room, collect whatever is possible and download whatever is possible, including previous semester to this semester, next semester also. Make a big bundle, study everything, but but not able to what you call manage all the syllabus on time. So they might fail also. So this is where you have what you call four groups of students typically we find in our classrooms. Now your job is to identify them. You can't leave just them like especially the last two groups. So can you what you call identify these people? Bring the last group to average group, average to good group. Can you what you call make an upgradation from your effort and a good group to the excellent what you call category and excellent category to become more excellent. So this also you can do because the idea is please remember as a teacher idea is not just teaching inside the class and coming as if we have to finish 16 hours in a week and come back. No, we have a moral responsibility to make them what you call good citizens too, and to make good citizens they should have good discipline and discipline where a teacher can insist and inculcate better and remember sometimes the students may not listen to their parents but they definitely listen to their teachers. So you have a upper hand over this and you can definitely improve your students and you cannot expect average students to get into excellent grade or any such jumps, but at least one grade up. If you can do it, I think you are doing your job well. So identify these particular groups and make something for them. A teacher should be good in what you call problem solving also inside the class. That's another trait of a teacher. So I have shown 9 dots here. So my simple task for you is later you can show on the screen that can you connect these 9 dots? If you know, just keep quiet. If you don't know, please try. I'll give you 1 or 2 minutes. So can you connect these 9 dots with the 4 straight lines? But condition is you should not lift your pen or pencil and you cannot what you call overwrite. You can crisscross, but you cannot overwrite. So four, take your pen and draw these dots and try to connect. Let's see the answers, how the answers would come. Quickly, I'll give 1 or 2 minutes. Please start.
Sir, only 4 moves are allowed, no?
Four straight
move
lines,
matra.
four straight lines without lifting, without overwriting, but you can crisscross.
Sir, 1, 2, 3. Sir,
Ah.
1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 8, 7, 4, and 5.
Sir, you can show, you can draw and show me on the screen. I'll check.
Sir, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರ್ಸಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ನೀವು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಾ, ಯಾವ್ದು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಾ?
ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ಸರ್.
ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರ್ಸಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ.
Anybody could succeeded?
Sir, a format of Z can be done by joining dots.
Madam, Z means you will end up with what you call
Actually, I think this problem is for thinking out of the box related, sir. Actually, I heard that before, but I forget it.
Yeah, this problem exclusively I given to you because yes, this is what you call, if you think in a normal way, you never get answer. So sometimes as teachers we have to think outside the box. That doesn't mean that you have to draw outside 4 lines. No, the lines have to be connected.
Sir, I done.
Madam, I'll just check once, okay?
Sir, I'll put arrow mark also.
Madam, can you show it? Just check it.
How, sir?
Madam, can you show it? Where? What is your name?
Sumalata, sir.
Your number?
65, sir.
Okay, Sumalata, madam. Okay. No, madam. No, I'm seeing your this one. It's not the answer. No. No.
Madam, the 5 moves ಇದೆ sir. ನೀವು 4 moves ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ.
Yes, only 4 lines. But again, I'm giving the clue. If you think in a traditional way, you will never get the answer.
Sir, I got it. Can I show it?
Yeah. Number?
49.
Yeah, show me, madam. Show to the screen. Okay.
No, it's a 5 move, sir. Sorry.
Okay. Anyone there, or I can give the answer. We'll take another.
Shall I show it?
Shall I again?
37.
Sir.
37. Okay. I'm not able.
Sir, this is the answer.
Prasad, sir?
Yes, sir.
Namita, 37.
How many lines you use, sir?
Sir, 4 lines, sir.
And how you have used? Can you show me?
Sir, out of the border, sir. 1 line come out of the border.
Sir, I'm not able to see your picture. I'm seeing your hand only. Can you
No,
make
sir.
it?
So shall I show 37?
Yes, madam. Namita, madam. Okay, can you show it?
Yeah, I'm drawing.
I'm not able to see very clearly. Madam, what you are doing? Just tell me, okay?
just the last 3 lines,
Ah,
right? Just drag a little bit more,
okay.
then cross, okay, then this, then this.
I'm not able to see clearly, but anyway, I'll give the answer. I think for others, they are what you call interested. So
So you
if
can
you,
see now, you can see now.
okay, madam, is this the answer? Or all
Yeah.
of us?
Yes, sir. I have done this.
Okay, if you have done this, good, sir.
But we have to take out of the point line.
Sir, did I say you have to finish within the line? I said use 4 straight lines.
Yeah.
So okay, those who have not done it, I'll just show you what is being done. This is the first line. If you're watching this one, you can see the cursor. This is the first line. I go up, then I take what you call one more line right side, but I don't stop at the dot. I continue here. Then I straight up I take to the second end and second middle and further extend down, and I connect it to the back.
Right.
So this is how what you call, even in a classroom we have to use sometimes out of the box solutions to become an intelligent teacher. So that's the idea, but I'm going to make the task much tougher. So with the 4 straight lines you can connect this. The next task is, can you do it with the 3 lines? The answer is yes, and show it. Take 1 more minute.
Sir, is it this way? Excuse me, sir.
Sir, is it correct?
Any answer?
Sir,
Yes,
is
sir.
it correct?
Can you just check this?
Huh?
Sir. 48.
Huh?
Like that shape.
48, 49, sir.
48.
Okay, I'll show the this one answer. Then it will be what you call. You can check it.
Z type.
See whether you have done this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you are done like this, then it's right. But
Yes.
please remember how we are going to do this. Now we are going to start here, start and connecting on the top, then come to the center and connect to the bottom of the line. Otherwise it can be done. Extend the line, again top, middle, bottom, again extend, again top, middle, bottom. So again, it all depends on how what you call you think. Sometimes you have to think really out of the box solution. Okay, that's one important aspects where even inside the class you have to manage. Now that's just to tell even to tell a teacher should be a good problem solver also. because it's not just what you call teaching the content what you have inside the syllabus, something more. Because many times we say a should be teacher should be a counselor also, and that time really you have to spend more time with the students, so that also makes a lot of difference.
This also can be done vertically, right, sir?
Yeah, anyway, as long as it connected.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
Diagonally also we can try this.
Yes,
Diagonally, vertically,
yes.
all possibilities.
Yeah, but the idea is only 3 lines.
3 lines.
And the answer is yes. It's not that it cannot be done,
Yeah.
but we think it's impossible, but it can be done.
Yes, but we cannot do for 2 lines, right, sir?
Impossible. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Next, what you call how we involve the this one, what you call involve our students. So one thing is what you call, again I'm talking on a very what you call larger context. The student involvement comes what you call in almost 3 aspects. One is how do you shape the environment, next is how do we plan the environment, and listening and responding. So these 3 things can make a student involvement better. So first itself is shaping the environment. Now if you have got a what you call freedom in your what you call college or institution, now what you call you have to arrange, if the again I'm telling you, if you have got what you call a kind of freedom in your college, that what you call you have to arrange the class in a way that it encourages active engagement. Now one of the important things what you have to make with the student is this, what most of the students they don't most of the teachers they fail to ask this. Usually when a class begins in the beginning of the what you call year or a semester, the students are going to change. Now we are very eager to say our expectation, that what we what you call expect from the students, but have you asked what the student expect from us, how they expect the classes to be, what they want? Now this is what a two-way communication, okay, where we are telling our expectation how the students and the classroom should be. At the same time we are allowing our students to ask what they expect from us. Of course sometimes there could be like they expect more marks, that's we are not going to encourage, that's not the thing at all. But what you're going to say is, okay, what do you expect as a teacher? What like this can be done in a very easier way, where you can have 1 or 2 hours of classes with them, then you can ask for a serious feedback. That time you can really get to know. That's one aspect. And there are 2 ways of what you call maintaining the class. One is managing the class, and the one is disciplining the class. So managing the class is very different from disciplining the class. Sometimes students are scared and listening to you, that is over disciplining the class. But sometimes the students are like to take your class or like to listen to you more. Now this is where as a teacher you have to more manage the class than discipline the class. How to manage? You know the tricks. So sometimes what you do, if the student is what you call irritating more and more, what you do with the student? This is a typical what you call primary school strategy.
Ask him questions relating to academics.
Madam, much more than that. If you ask question, he'll be intimidated.
Ask him to sit in the first bench.
Sir, that's like a punishment. I'm telling management. I'm not telling what you call disciplining.
We can assign something and give him a leader's role.
Oh, this is what I exactly expected. Those who create more troubles, put them on a leadership role. Now they have to control the class. Right, sir? Now this is how what you call on a simple level, where what you call this, what is being done in the primary schools. I don't know whether you remember. If a student is more what you call mischievous and all, that our class teachers used to make them a class monitor. The person who does more create mischievous act, now he has to control others. The same thing also here we can manage. So I would expect you to take a classroom in a smoother way rather than, because nowadays the trends have been changed, because nobody likes that what you call that tough natured teaching, and all the time that suffocating thing which acts like what you call a disciplined one. I want more management class. So how do you manage? Now this is where what you call you have to be very careful. And one more point, if you have seen, learn and use student names. Now can you tell me why this is important for shaping the environment?
Whenever we address a student or anybody for that matter with his first name, it helps to develop a kind of a connect, and then a student responds better.
That's one part. Any other answers?
As
Why
and
we have
when
to
we
learn
put
and use
on
students' names?
as and when we put on that student name, it keeps himself alert, and the other students also will get some connectivity towards the topic.
Attention ನಾವು grab ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು sir.
Yeah, but one more thing, please understand. All those days, the student must be thinking, teacher doesn't know my name. Now, the moment he or she gets to know that the teacher knows his or her name, the entire pattern will be different. And now, the moment you call the student by name, they start somewhat that liking comes. Okay, teacher knows my name, that means I am into the teacher for good or bad reasons. But that can have a lot of impact on the student, that as someone rightly said, the student will be more alert, and having a being a proud that teacher knows my name, that itself, that well-being can improve him better. So these are the small things what you call, where in a classroom you can what you call manage better. Now, as I said, all this happens in the first way. How you manage the class, again, it all again depends on the number of students. If the limited numbers, yes, I can't expect, if you have got 100 plus students in a classroom, you cannot, I can't expect you to remember all the 110 names. No, impossible. So that's why, but with the limited number and all, okay. And the second part, like what you call expectations. Yes, we always tell our expectations, that what we expect from you people, and can we ask what the student expect from the department or from the teacher? That has more impact than only one-sided expectation. And student name, as it is, what best it can do. That planning, okay. Now how we can do a planning, because to make your classroom better, okay. Now how to initiate the talk, and how we are going to assign the students, and how you assign the responsibility. So once you assign the responsibility, automatically the participation part will increases. Once the participation part increases, remember, rather than mere reading, discussion can have better memory. You know about it. Whenever you study in the groups, I'm telling, I'm a serious study in the group, not other things. So group study is much better than individual study if the group study is done in a better way, or in the way it is done very seriously, meant to be group studies, not discussing other things. The same thing can happen here. In a discussion, more ideas would come, and these ideas can be retained better. Then even inside the class, you can adopt a lot of things, how you can plan. One is what you call regular teaching method. Then another thing is discussion. One can raise the what you call topic. You can be a moderator. You can make two groups of students talking about the subject, and this can have a lot of impact, because the student is actively involved. That's a more important thing, because we are not sure, when we are taking class one-sided, we call one-sided lecture, we are not sure whether there's active participation from the student. But the moment what you call, if there are discussions are there, definitely what you call, we can find some active involvement. But you have to see to that everybody has to have a role, or sometimes a small group work. If primary student kids can do a PowerPoint presentation, nowadays, primary class, high school students, they are doing a power presentation in a group work. Why not our students at college level? We can definitely do that, as provided we assign them a better work. Then, whenever we do such sessions, now please give opportunities to ask and answer questions, because it is not just praising a person or ridiculing a person. It is basically what you call opportunities throughout to ask and answer questions, so that By asking the question, the student will get to know what you call critical ideas. The person who is going to answer will have more knowledge. So both way people are getting it. Then if you are good, you may have to prepare initial and follow-up questions much ahead of time, where you have to behave in a proactive way, where because of this proactiveness, one can what you call plan in a better way. So now what is going to happen is when the questions are being asked and others are watching it, the next session or next subsequent such discussions will make other students more alert. That means they have to study more and more and bring more material with them. That can what you call have more impact on the gaining knowledge part of the student, and more knowledge, more, better success in the examination. So ultimately we look into that also. Then another thing is grading, what you call a student participation. Okay, now usually they say don't directly give a final grading. Okay, now first you start with the preliminary participation grade. Then if it is not satisfied, give them evaluation, what you call, in writing, that where they have to improve. Now this can improve a lot by doing such things, where a participation can in what you call involve more of those things and increase the what you call gradings better than preliminary participation grade. So that's the idea in planning. Then there could be what you call next aspect. What you're talking about is listening and responding. Now, how many of us we use really a good body language inside the class? How many of us use verbal and non-verbal communication, where a good verbal and non-verbal communication or the cues for the students can really encourage participation in the class? Then sometimes we bump on the students as if they have to answer on the spot. Please remember, we have to give them some time. They have to think and answer. So you have to give them few what you call seconds. Okay, you have to give them relaxed time. So you think and answer, not in a hurry. Now you have to give students time because they cannot bring immediately what you call from spur of the moment. So they have to really think and answer. And if they know it, definitely they are going to answer. Then by chance, sometimes what happens, the student may start with the wrong way of interpreting it. Don't interrupt, allow the student to complete. We have a habit of suddenly interrupting, or you don't know how much it is, what it is. Now never do that. Please allow the student to complete the answer. Now, because by avoiding, you are blocking the student's thinking part, and you are not even allowing to go further. The student might get discouraged, might get what you call motivated. So once he gets demotivated, he might think that all these what you call activities are going to be meaningless or useless. So better what you call completely listen first and then give your comments. Then the next part is what you call providing specific, encouraging, and varied responses. See, this is where what you call your creativity works. How you provide specific responses, how you provide encouraging responses, and how you provide varied responses. Now, when you say specific response, that means answer to the point. Encouraging means we should encourage furthermore. Varied means when we have there is a multiple choice of what you call way of responding it, and this can be what you call done by a person who is really creative, and so that providing specific answers, specific responses, then again encouraging responses, then varied responses. Now this makes you what you call a better teacher inside the class. Now sometimes what you call students what you call answer, the answer sometimes extraordinarily good. Now please repeat those students response. See, this person has said this can definitely answer our question, this can definitely solve the issues. So you have to repeat the student responses to summarize or clarify ideas. And please remember, never ridicule a student inside the class. The moment you start ridiculing the student, sometimes again with the what you call with a disclaimer, we have a habit of telling like idiot, okay, you don't know how to answer, you don't know. Never what you call ridicule or discourage the students, because you don't know nowadays what background the student has come from. The student may have problems within himself, or he may have family issues, because many times they're what you call they fail to tell, or they're what you call they might feel ashamed to tell these issues unless you are a very close person to them. Now we are being in the psychology department. Some students, they come to us, first thing is they say, my parents are all the time quarreling, I'm not able to focus, that's why I'm not able to study. Now we don't know the conditions of a student, on what background he is coming. And sometimes some students are part-timers, they work in the night and they come to the class. Please try to understand their positions, try to help them. So that's why we cannot bump them, we cannot what you call straight off what you call use some of the remarks on them. Can you call them personally and ask what exactly the problem is? If such problem students exist in the class, apart from the mobile addictions I'm talking about, now you see the scenes have been changed. So that's where you are, I'm talking about a part of counseling too, where a counseling can help us. And every teacher is a counselor, by the way, because we get to know some students problem. And I'm not telling that you have to help them financially, I'm not telling advising that, but please understand, they require some kind of moral support which they may not get at home. So that time, so we never judge a student in the first instant itself. Wrong. Judging a student, what you call in the first instance, is what you call I don't advise. One should not even do it. So now get back to the listening and responding part. Okay. Uh, Redirect comments and question to other students. Okay. Now person X is telling like this. What you feel about this answer? Now this is where the real discussion comes. Another student may have another idea which we may not have known it. Now please understand how we are going to help our student. Some ideas which can come from student side, which we are really acknowledge. Now once we acknowledge that, the students also feel better and we have learned better. And so these comments have to be redirected and questions to other students, so that entire class will be alerted. And whenever some students something tells important, place the emphasis on student ideas. Yes, what you said is right. What about other people? Do you have any what you call do you have any comments on this? You can ask your other students. Now see the classroom environment. Now everybody wants to be what you call present, and where have active listening and participation, and they want to comment on themselves. The classroom is totally now engaged, and you don't know how 1 hour is gone. So that's the idea behind. Then the next part is emotive and cognitive feedback for students, how you are going to plan. The question 1 is the goals, question 2 is the progress, and the question 3 is the consequences. I'm going to ask you people there, when you are student, whether you had experienced this, where teachers are trying to encourage you where you are heading, how you to go there, and where next. At least few teachers you have come across. Anyone there?
Yes, during a postgraduate program, at times there are certain electives where students are not able to decide as to whether, suppose I am from English discipline, so they are thinking or pondering as to they should go for American literature or Indian literature, etc., etc. Then there lies a teacher who can counsel them in terms of as to how to see that, or where does it take you.
So that's about what you call where I'm going. Okay.
Yeah, that is the goals. That is the question 1.
Okay. Can you do that in your college? That's another part where you can take part of 5 to 10 minutes and definitely you can
Yes.
do this.
Of course,
And
of course.
and I'm asking other teachers, what about the question 2? Because I'm not only talking about the subject part, I'm talking about even the career part. And we know nowadays getting job is very difficult. And after AI invasion, they have predicted after 20 years there is no job. There are no jobs available. Now, this is where we have to really prepare our students to overcome AI, because that's what the what you call what Elon Musk and others have given the scary picture, where our students should not get disturbed by that. So this is where, as a teacher, we have a responsibility to do what you call getting into these 3 things: goals, progress, and consequences. That's why the skill part. So if a student is clear about where I am going, that's a planning part. Then how to go about it is the getting part of it, and finally what it will be. Now, if you are going to what you call do this for students and get the feedback, I think you are doing your job great. That's one aspect. The next aspect is feedback. Okay. I don't believe in what you call so-called the feedback is taken from the institute. I think most of the private institutes, they take the feedback from the students about the teachers' classes. How many
Yes,
of you
yes,
believe in
yes.
that? Huh? And
Yes,
sometimes,
sir. I have worked in private institute before, the
yeah,
branded ones.
yeah.
I have found that people they did make a mandatory for them for giving feedback on teachers so that they can fill up examination form.
Okay, but are these feedbacks are really good feedbacks, or it's what you call made the feedbacks? Like no.
They are funny feedbacks.
Okay.
Students take those feedbacks for all the expressing their personal grudges and unnecessary stuff they write on those in those feedbacks.
There are 2 ways, sir. One is on the negative side, because if they don't like the teacher, though you are doing well, though I'm underlining, you are doing well, but since you are very strict, there could be a negative feedback on you, believe it or not.
Yes, right, right.
There is another group of teachers who insist on the student to give a higher grades or ratings. Both are not good.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, if you look at it from an ethical point of view, that should be anonymous, and at the same time, they should be given freedom to
Yeah.
express what they want to express regarding curriculum.
Now I'm coming to that point. Now I'm coming to that point. Don't believe in your institutional what you call feedback. Don't believe in what you call teachers insisting on them. I want you to get a what you call feedback, at least in the you means the entire teachers, because if you are starting your classes after few hours of your teaching, you need to have a clear cut feedback from the students. How it would be, as the first thing itself, no name. No name of the student has to be given. No handwritten things. Everything is just tick marks or into marks. And when students are giving the feedback, the teacher should not be inside the class. So it's an anonymous feedback, and at least 3 things have to be taken care of. One is, what did they like in the classroom teaching? What they didn't like it, and what is expected more. Now, you can have a checklist or you can have a gradation. And as I said, what you call, as I said, no name, not even a handwriting is shown, just tick marks, and assuring them that okay, no, it's completely confidential, not even given to others. It is just for self improvement. And see, you get a true feedback from the students. Now, this is where you can get a true feedback Once you get a true feedback, it can really improve your what you call teaching class, what you call effectiveness. That's what I want to tell you. If really and it can happen one what you call can happen in the initial stages of your teaching, where later once you are mastering the subject, then you don't really need such feedbacks, because if you spend some 5-10 years with the students, I think now we are into the stream, and that kind of feedback is not required unless the institution expects. Now that's the one part. So as I said, go for anonymous feedback, or some students are willing to give their open feedback, accept it with the article grace. If some students are, sir, you are going very fast, accept it. Okay, next time it will be corrected. Sir, sometimes we what do you call some content we don't understand at all, don't even repeat it. No, that means there is some lacuna with us. Sir, sometimes you talk unnecessary things which are not at all connected to the subject. Now we should reconsider it. So all these things, what you call, if you're taking it positively, definitely you can have a good improvement, solid improvement in your teaching. Now, that is why first to know whether the contents are reaching the students. Now, going back to the first session, if it has not reached most of the students, take it for granted you are not what you call your content is not reached. That's why they are failing. If few of them are failing, you cannot blame yourself. Now it is the student capacity. So that's what first understand how to know whether the contents are reaching or not. One is asking questions, or next morning also asking questions on the things, and if majority of them are not answering, you may have to repeat it. And how many of you asked the students after finishing the class, have you understood anywhere if you want to have clarification required, anything more required? That was a serious question. And again, I'm telling you, nothing to take personal. Sometimes what we do is, because we are into semester system, we have a loaded syllabi. Sometimes we'll finish the syllabus in a hurry, which should not be done. And we are lazy to take special classes. If you are a really a good teacher, please see to that you don't rush through the syllabus. You make the syllabus understandable to the student. Sometimes I've heard some of the teachers telling, somehow I want to finish this chapter, or somehow I want to finish this unit. Now, if a teacher tells like that, somehow want to finish or clear the syllabus or unit, how the students should be able to manage? Sometimes we finish hurriedly the syllabus inside the class. If we have not understood the content and we have disseminated to the students, if it is difficult for us, have we understood how difficult for the students? The students have come to the class to make the things simple for them. So if we are having that idea that somehow I want to finish, and if you are telling your colleague, oh, I'm relieved now, I finished that chapter which I found very difficult. Please understand, if you find the chapter difficult, what about your student? Now, that means what? Indirectly, it gives the idea that you have not mastered the content. Sorry to say this. If you have mastered the content, if you have mastered the subject, you have no difficulty at all. From anywhere to anywhere, you can go. From anywhere, you can jump and talk. Now, then the students, it should be our teacher. Ask anything, the person knows about it. Now, this should be the way one has to manage. Now, based on that, you have got a what you call feedback from the students, either in a written form or in the oral form. Now, you can decide. You can decide the next class modalities based on the feedback. So initially, when I started my classes, some few students said, "Sir, you are too fast." That was one of the feedback. Now I had to decrease the speed. There are some contents you talk, which is the language is what you call very high. Those is very highly technical language. Can you make us simple? So I had to rethink over it, and I have to rewrite over it and make the thing simple. So then immediately I go with that standing. Please understand, they can understand better. So the next class modalities based on the feedback can make a big change among the students. And when you listen to them, see the gratitude which they have. Our teacher has come and explained us to second time. He doesn't mind, or he or she doesn't mind to teach once again. Now that can continue for a longer time. Then, as I said, feedback or evaluation for our improvement. Because if I talk like this, please remember it is because of the feedback from the participants or from the students. Because every what you call lecture I ask, what did you like, what you didn't like, what is expected more. Now several such suggestions have been what you call incorporated again and again. So that's where I'm continuing to be. I don't say I'm a complete teacher with the 100% perfect teaching. I still don't agree. I don't know when it will come, but I'm trying my level best to do that. So that's the evaluation which I have got, and I'm trying to do better. And it is not only in the short run, even in the long run, you get to know how exactly a content has to be taught. But we have challenges. What are those challenges? Changing syllabi. That is a major challenge because we cannot stick on to the syllabi which is being taught last 10 years. And new papers have been included. Now the skill based things have been introduced. Now we have to really work hard, which can help us to shape the teaching. And to do that, a hard work from our side really matters. So it is the teaching will not come just like that. So that's the idea there. And finally, the last few words before we have what you call a discussion session and a few minutes. The first thing is, as we sincere teachers, introspect ourselves. It's not a philosophy, it's a practical thing I'm telling. What's that introspection? Am I doing right? Many times what happens, we'll not prepare to the class and we'll just go to the class and spend 1 hour. Is it right the way? Of course, we have our own difficulties. There is no person who is without problems in this world. But we are given exclusive job of teaching. And if we don't prepare to the class and we just jump to the class and tell something out of the blues, beating around the bush, now imagine what can happen. And as I said, nowadays students are extra smart. Some students read much before. What they get to know about this teacher is so weak in the subject. Our teacher should not be underrated. So introspection is must. And many times I advise my colleagues, if you are not prepared well, don't go to the class and be a laughing stock. Assign some other activities to the students, which is related to the academics. Because without knowing something or without preparing to the class, and then I go to the class and I don't want my colleagues or someone to become a laughing stock. So that's the one important thing. The next question is, after having all this, did we provide sufficient information on the topic you delivered? I leave this question to, I don't want anybody to answer that. So if you are already teaching, for every hour, question yourself, did you provide sufficient information on the topic you delivered? If you are delivered and if you are done with that, good. But if you are not delivered, it calls for some weakness in you, which has to be taken care of immediately. Then, did you clarify all the doubts, queries raised by the students, or snub them? Sometimes we get intimidated. Sometimes we feel ashamed because sometimes some students ask the question and sometimes we don't know the answer. Now, please understand, when we don't know the answer, we should not blame the student. In fact, we have to appreciate the student, telling that today I don't have answer for this, but tomorrow definitely you have the answer for this. Nothing wrong in telling that, because nobody expects like a teacher should be knowing 200% of the subject. I cannot be Pandit in all, but my student has given me option, dear teacher, you need to study more because you don't have answer for my question, which has opened my eyes. Now I should appreciate. Thank you very much, but today you will not have answer, but tomorrow you will have answer. I seriously work on that, and next day the first thing is I clarify that. I thank because my knowledge is much more increased. So clarifying the doubts or queries raised by the student is important. Then, were you happy and sense of fulfillment when you came out of the class? This is a very serious question. When you finish a class, are you happily coming out with a sense of fulfillment that you have given, or what you call, you have given a good lecture, you have what you call, given a good knowledge for the students? Are you happy? Or somehow is it okay? Oh, I finished. Think about that. Again, a philosophical question plus practical question. Do you have a fulfillment that okay, I'm doing better? Question your what you call conscience, whether what your conscience says about it. Okay, if conscience says yes, you are done right job, you are happy, your students are happy with your class, I think you're done, you're doing your job great. And lastly, there are some teachers already, maybe you are in your college and all, they go behind awards. The award comes because of some payment and some this one. You get an offer, like we have recognized your work, so we will be awarding you in Chennai, Mumbai, or Bombay, some city, but you have to pay for this. So on some occasion, we'll award you. We say paid awards. Okay, please don't believe in those paid awards. If some institution, some government, or some agency really, really they identify the talent in you, really they identify the skills in you, and then they give a award of teacher, I think you've done your job. Plus, the last word is don't go behind any awards. I expect awards should follow you because there are many teachers who have gone behind the awards and miserably failed. But there are many teachers who are never bothered about the awards, but awards have followed them. So try to make the awards follow you. You'll be a great teacher. And lastly, thank you very much. Happy teaching. Enjoy and make the best use of your classroom because I still expect the sense of fulfillment when you come out of the class be very happy and joyous. That means you've done your job. Thank you very much. And next few minutes will be on discussion of the last two sessions. Any clarifications, anything you want to add, anything you want to comment, please feel you can do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now the session is open.